Glow Beauties, this is the first ever time that I ever got personally tagged, and I am ecstatic. And I'm even more ecstatic too. Well, I'm doubly ecstatic because it's about palettes. It's called Another Palette Tag. I got personally tagged by the most wonderful and beautiful Lulu from Aging Gorgeously. She is hysterical. We both share the same aesthetic when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. We love color, we love glitter, we love glow. She makes a beautiful eyeshadow. She critiques really good if you want to get truth on something. No holes barred, not sugar coated, with a lot of sass and hilarity at the same time. Watch Aging Gorgeously. She is a hoot, and you're gonna come out learning something, and you're gonna get the deets on the product. She is not going to wishy-washy it. She's gonna give the deets. I love her, and she is a hoot. Every time I watch her, I'm like holding my mouth because she's like, my eyes are popping open. I'm screeching with laughter. Comes out with these things like, whoa! Kaily Baute, who was the first one, who was the originator of Another Palette Tag, just and picked it up after a couple of years, because I think it was started about a year ago or a year and a half ago, and just and kind of revived it. And then of course Aging Gorgeously passed on the baton. So I will put actually all 3 channels listed in my description box. So it is a lot of fun, and I love palettes because I find, like, well, you know, if you love color, you're gonna love eyeshadow palettes. Well, maybe not the neutral ones, but there's so much creativity in eyeshadow palettes, and it's an easy creative outlet with all the colors that you can pick from. So you can be so creative, you can be artistic. Not to say that I'm very artistic, but at least it's fun to be creative with. That's why I love eyeshadow palettes so much. So this is I'm so glad that this was the first one that I got to be tagged in, because it's right up my alley. So let's get started. The first question is, what was your first palette? Well, my first palette was this one, which is the Maybelline, let's see, Eye Studio 10 Amethyst Ablaze. And I love it because, as you can see, I'm a purple lover, so that was the one I really was drawn to. It has all the purples, and I never really understood this, because at that point when I got back into eyeshadow after having a hiatus for, we won't even talk about how many years I was away from eyeshadow because I had allergic eyes. So when I got it, I got this, and I think I picked a really good one because you got your mattes, you got your kind of shimmers, and I didn't even realize I was never ventured in this one. It's an actual glitter, and it's a really good glitter, and the shadows are super pigmented. So here is the glitter. Look at that. And that was just a light swatch. You got a beautiful purple right here, the transition color here. I mean, they're just a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, look at that. So this is my first ever palette, and then suddenly in the past 2 years I found out that I could wear eyeshadow. So when I was able to wear eyeshadow, you know the phrase, go big or go home. So I went big. I went for the Morphe 35C, and I even did a video review on it because I was just so excited, because basically this was my first venture into being able to really wear eyeshadow. So as you can see, I got the most colorful one. It was the all mattes one. I do now have the all shimmer one also, and this is basically the way I started. Originally, when I used to be able to wear eyeshadow years, I just used to wear like one. Back in the day, you didn't wear a lot of eyeshadow in that way when you know, in the 80s, well, I don't know, in the 80s and 90s, unless you were like a major punker, which I was at one time, but we won't get into that. New Waver Punker. But there was a time after that where I would just wear one shadow, and it was this beautiful Shiseido burgundy, and I would just put it all over my lid, blend it into my crease, and it was a done deal. And that worked for me until, of course, my eyes went haywire. But anyway, the rest is history. I went big or went home. What is your most recently purchased palette? Well, the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. It's another go big or go home palette. I love me my Natasha Denona. It speaks for itself. The mattes are blendable. The shimmers, metallics. Well, I did a review on this. This is an interesting palette, so you'll get the full review. But nonetheless, Natasha's sparklings, her chroma crystals, her metallics before these ones are unprecedented. They're on the level of Pat McGrath. They're all in that same boat, okay? And her mattes are just beautifully blendable. The colors mix together easily and don't muddy. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with it, with some caveats. So I'm very, very happy that I purchased this for my summer palette. The next one is, what palette do I regret missing out on? Well, there are actually two. One of them was being able to wear eyeshadow, and that is the Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca. I really wish I could have got that palette because it's right up my alley. Rainbow colors, and then you got the neutrals in the center. There are different finishes. At first I thought it was all mattes, but actually it's not. There is different finishes in that. That is one palette I would have loved to have had. However, I came on the scene a little after, a little too late. The other palette that I would have wanted, I know I'm supposed to say one, but I want to say two. I'm allowed. Because it's my channel. The other one that I really would have wished that I got, but at the time I had to choose between two palettes, and I chose the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. But if I had the funds, I would have loved to have gotten the Too Faced, the Natural Love palette, the big version of their natural series. It's very romantic. It has some pinks. It's got some purples. They're softer, more muted, but it's just this lovely romantic palette. It's a neutral lover's dream, but it also has some soft colors in it that I could cope with, and it would have been a nice option for me to be able to have a neutral palette that I could wear, like say to work, or if I just kind of want to tone things down in a day. It's a nice option to have, and it's not scary because it does have some color in it, and it's a very kind of bridal palette. Sometimes I feel like I want to be a little romantic and almost bridal. It would have been a lovely palette, and it's nice and big, and I kind of like those big. I like to be able to have options, so I kind of missed that one. You live, you learn. What palette makes me happy to look at? Well, that's easy. The Too Faced Life's a Festival palette. This is a cutie. It's a cutie patootie, and I'm not trying to plagiarize. Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to, oh, I forgot her name. I'll write it on the screen. I'm not, but it is so cute. And I do like cute. I'm sorry. I still feel like life is a festival. You have to celebrate it. Especially when you came close to death, I gotta keep on reminding myself that, you know what, life is worth living, even when things kind of suck sometimes. I just love it because it reminds me to keep on believing, keep on hoping. The rainbow is like a promise, and it's colorful, and it's festive, and it's happy, and it's got duochrome's glittery shadows, and they're colorful, and they're reflective. All up my alley. And the nice thing about this palette too is that I find it easy to see looks out of this very, very quickly. And what I also like is that they do have desert vibes, which is kind of an orangey brown, which is really nice because you can ground the other colors with it. Also, you can mix these with the brighter colors to tone those down in the crease when you want to go with color in the crease, but you don't want it to be oversaturated. This is a great color to mute it down a bit. So I love it. Look, you got this like beautiful duochrome. You got this one. You can see you got some purples. You got this like amazing green. I mean, come on. These are so much fun. See? They're so much fun. I love it. This palette makes me happy. Makes me very, very happy. What palette have you changed your mind about? Well, that's kind of easy. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Yes, I know, the Modern Renaissance palette. Oh my God, the sky is gonna open. The rains are gonna fall. There's gonna be an earthquake, yes. And the thing is, I bought it and I returned it. Not once, but twice. Yes, I've changed my mind about it twice. I really did want to try and love that palette. I really, really did. Because I really loved the reds in it, especially Love Letter. I loved that purple, the Bonfresco crease color. I loved, what else did I love? Was there anything else that I loved in there? The problem was it was going to be too much of a one-trick pony for me because I was going to be staying in the reds zone area and the Bonfresco zone area. And then maybe those two shimmers that were just way too much alike, and on my deeper skin tone, it's really not going to give much of a variance for me. So I realized, you know, sometimes you want to like something because everybody else likes it. You just got to accept that you're different, and you are going to be different, and this is just not for you. So I returned it. However, I did redeem some of those colors, and I thank goodness Anastasia Beverly Hills made some of them in singles. So I did get my Love Letter in a single, and I got my Bonfresco in a single. So I'm happy because I still got the colors that I really love in that palette, and I can make my own version of a Modern Renaissance the way I want it, because I always wanted to have more color in it. I was like wondering, where are the golds? Where are the pinks? And in fact, if they put the what is it called again? The Soft Glam palette with the Modern Renaissance palette. If they fuse those together, I probably would have bought that palette and kept it. But they didn't fuse it together, so there you go. I can make my own version of it. It's okay. I'm cool with that. So yes, it was a palette that I changed my mind on twice. I tried. I did try. What palette was a palette that surprised me? Well, I think one of them was the Dream Street palette. This is Kathleen Light's collab with ColourPop, and we know that there was a collab prior to this because I got the You Had Me at Hello, and that was actually was about to be a collab. But I'm glad that they actually shelved that and that they did not waste the covers and just redid it by putting a sticker. I don't see the problem that I really don't. I don't know why everybody's making a big hullabaloo about it. I mean, these things happen, and I'm kind of glad they did because I think this is a better rendition for this. Feels like a Kathleen Lights with more adventure to it. So I'm really glad that she went this way instead of the other. The other one was too typical, very kind of basic. It's pretty, but this kind of reflects the light quality with Kathleen Lights, and they put a whole theme around it which works way better. What surprised me about it is that I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I did purposely buy it, but it was one of those kind of modern Renaissance things where I wasn't quite sure. Everybody loves it. I knew that there was colors that I kind of really, really liked in it, like this one here and this one here, and even these. So I was kind of like, you know what, let me try it. I know it's a neutral, but it's got a neutral with pops, and it's enough pops because the shimmers are fun and light and kind of what, corally pinky vibes, and then you got this amazing blue vibe, and then you got your blues, and I thought I could work with it, and I did. So it kind of surprised me because this is kind of like a neutral pop version, and it popped for me. So I really, really loved it. You can get lots of looks. Mind you, it's going to be on the coral blue side. You're really not going to be able to vary much from that, but the amount of amazing looks that you can get out of just the corals and blues and browns is pretty impressive. So I'm very happy with this, and it works very nicely with my skin tone. So I love it. I was surprised by it, and I love it. So what palette inspires me the most? Now that's kind of hard because actually it's a bit of a cross between the Too Faced Festival palette and the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. These palettes inspire me for the summer. I mean, this one is just so fun, and I can really easily see looks out of it. I find it a very inspiring palette. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about, and I haven't tried it yet, is because it is scented and it has a Pez candy scent. And it's so funny because this component actually reminds me of a Pez candy, and this one smells like a Pez candy. And I tend to be allergic to scents, so that I was able to use the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself because a very soft vanilla, and they make it's a natural scent. They're deriving it from actual vanilla, whereas this, it's kind of artificial and it's a bit stronger. So I really want to dig into it, but I wanted to make sure that I use this one first before I dig into this, just in case I risk my eyes, taking out my eyes and then have to like recover from that for a week or two. And then this one I find very inspirational too. Very summer fun colors with all these pops. It's not just one or two, it's a whole row and then up here. So I'm super happy with this. And then you've got your lovely soft crease colors that work with this, and I'm just a happy camper. So both of these, especially if I can manage to use this, these are going to be my summer go-tos. Of course I have some other ones that I'm going to go to also, but these definitely inspired me for the summer. What palette is on my wish list? Now that is a hard one because I've got a couple of palettes that are on my wish list. And one of the palettes that is on my wish list, has always been on my wish list, is the Natasha Denona Green Brown palette. And I figured out now the green brown palette is in Canadian dollars. I think it's over $300. So I'm not going to be getting that anytime soon. However, I figured out a workaround, which I will be hopefully doing a video on, because it has to do with picking up a couple of the 5-pan and doing something with it. So we will talk about that in another video. So I figured out a way to get my wish. Another one that I would have loved is the Pat McGrath Mothership palettes, particularly the Subversive one and the Sublime one, I believe. It's the Mothership 2 and 3. I would have loved to have had those. Those are on my wish list, but it's kind of like my dream wish list. It's not a real wish list, it's a dream wish list. And also La Vie en Rose, the 5, and that was the thing. My wish was that Pat McGrath would make a smaller version of her palettes, or make some in actual just singles so that we can afford it, or a smaller palette. And she came through. And in fact, the smaller palettes actually have more product in the pans than her bigger palettes. So that's really cool. And they're like less than half the price, I think. Well, that's on my reality wish list, and then the bigger motherships are on my dream wish list, along with Natasha Denona Green Brown. So that's my wish list. 2 versions, in fact. This is an interesting one. What is your no-fail palette? Now, this has to do with a palette you either use the most, hit the most pan on, every time you use it, you're so happy with the results. That's very hard because I am a bit ADHD with my palettes. I really haven't really honed in a palette. I've used some longer than others, like my Natasha Denona Tropic palette, some less long. I tend to be a butterfly. I want to flip from palette to palette. I land on a palette that I love, but I'm side-eyeing another palette that I'm longing to play with. So it's very hard for me to kind of have a go-to palette, but I did speak that I think I will be playing around with these two a lot this summer. Of course, probably not a lot in the way other people consider it, because I have some other wonderful summer palettes that I want to play with too. But I think these ones will be ones that I'll probably jump back to a lot throughout the summer. Is it wrong that I'm ADHD with palettes? I hope it's not. This was such a fun tag, and thank you Lulu from Aging Gorgeously for tagging me. I so appreciate it. You knew my heart when it comes to palettes. So anyway, I want to let everybody who is watching this video know that you are all tagged to do this palette tag, whether you have a channel and you want to do it that way, or whether you want to answer any of the palette questions in the comment section below. Please do. We would all love to hear from each other. I would definitely love to hear from you. What are some of your answers to these questions? I'm going to give you a question that you can answer. What will be your go-to palette for this summer? Love to hear that in the comment section below. Also, I want to tag a couple of people, well actually 4 specifically, so that I can pass on the baton that Lulu gave me. And that is, I want to tag Keeping It Simple with Bridget. I love your channel. I love all the things that you do, all your reviews and everything. You make amazing reviews, amazing swatches. Love you, girl. Your demos are Hot Mamas Live. Girls, you are amazing. The Dynamic Sister Duo. You are tagged. Emmy Fee Ann. Beautiful eyeshadow makeup. And I love that you represent some of those wonderful indie brands. Love you, girl. Shaylin Kotek. Your reviews are amazing. Please, I hope you're able to do the tag along with your travels, and God bless you with your beautiful summer, because you earned it with I know you aced your law exams. And Joanna G Makeup, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful makeup. I tag you too, girl. Hold up, stop the presses. I cannot believe I forgot one other amazing YouTuber. She's a fellow Canadian. Her name is Breakups to Makeup. Girl, we gotta represent. You have been officially tagged. You guys are all tagged to do this video. And of course, you know, everybody who watches this video is tagged. So go forth and do another palette tag. If you enjoyed this video and you love palettes, do give this a thumbs up, like, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with all my videos. And just remember, rock your own kind of beauty and keep on going and keep on glowing. I will.
What am I trying to say? Hot Flash City! I think I'm gonna have to get some Pro Menthol or whatever that is. I need something bigger. Woo! Let me just do this. Let's do this. Come on. Let's do this.